Hello, everyone. So it's been a while. I have been very busy with work and other personal things, but I want to finish this hotel booking application in a short amount of time so that we can start with other new things to learn. So it's almost 2 years since I started learning Pega and working with Pega, and I think I have a few video ideas on other areas that we can explore and learn together. So right now, if I remember correctly, the next thing that we were going to be working on this reservation case type was on the stage for where we have the billing information. I think it's the second step, if I don't remember, of the third stage. Yes. So here on reservation details, we are going to continue working on the apply promo code. So what I plan by the end of this video is that we will have a working promo code section where the user should be able to apply an existing promo code in order to get a discount on the reservation. So there are a few things that we are going to need. We are going to need some records in our promo code data type. We are going to create a few new properties to calculate this discount. And also we are going to update and create a few declare expressions. Okay, so let's get started. The first thing that we want to take care of is to make sure that we have records for the promo code data type. As you can see, the promo code data type doesn't have the configuration needed to store records. So we don't have this icon that displays that we have a table in the database. So we can configure this by doing the following. So I'm going to open the definition, clicking this kebab menu icon or the three dots, and we are going to set a key. I'm going to say that I want the system to automatically generate a unique ID. Now I'm going to save this, and we are still not done. You will see that we will have this warning over here. We are going to take care of this in just a second. Now let's go to the promo code landing page, I guess. And from here, we are going to go to the records tab, going to click on configure source, and we will see here that it is telling us that we are going to it is going to create these rules. It's also going to create the table in the database, and it is telling us here that the key that is going to be using is this PYUID. So I'm just going to click submit so that the system creates everything that it needs in order to store some records in the table that is going to be created. It is also going to be creating some rules on the Pega side of the equation. So we are going to have some new report definitions and data pages. So now if I refresh my data types, you should see that we have this database icon that will tell us that we have records pretty much. So now the only thing that I have to do now is to add a few records. So I'm going to keep it super simple. So my first code is going to be only A. Uh, and the discount is going to be 10%. Now, the next one is going to be B, and my discount is going to be 20%. So that's it for this. Well, let's go back to definition, click on save again to get rid of this warning. So that's it for storing records for promo code. The next thing that I want to do is to add a few additional properties in our case type. So over here in the reservation case type landing page, I'm going to go to data model. Here, I know that I already have the total property with a declared expression that is stay duration times room rate total. What we will be creating here are two new properties, the subtotal and the discount, and both of them will have their own declared expression. So we can create these properties from here by clicking on add new field, or we could also go to the view that we want to configure and add them from there. It's the same, so I'm just going to do it over here. So we have our promo code page, and if we open this one, we should see that we have the code and the discount. So let's just see this. Yes, there it is. Let's go back. We want those properties to be created in the reservation case type layer. So we have to do it over here. If we create them over here, well, that's not where we want them. That will be creating the properties on the apply promo code class, which if you remember, that will be on the data layer. So we don't want that. We want them to be created in our work layer for reservation. So let's come back over here and let's add the new fields. The first one is going to be the subtotal. It's going to be of type currency. And I'm going to say that this is going to be calculated. So this will be creating a declare expression rule for my property. For now, I'm just going to use an expression and I'm going to set it equal to 1. We will update this expression later. The next one is going to be the discount. I'm also going to make it a currency type. It is going to be calculated, and for now, we're going to set the expression just as 1. So now that we have that, I'm going to save everything. Now, on that configure view, we don't have much configuration that we can do for the section. So what I'm going to do is to open the section from the reservation, from the apply promo code into reservation case. So that should be named apply promo code. And I'm going to make some adjustments so that it looks good. So I'm going to add the total. We don't have the total, so let's add that so that we can show the user how much they will be paying at the end. Okay, I'm not sure how it will look, so let's click here. You can click on preview. So the code, I want the user to be able to input the code that they want to apply, and the discount, I only want them to be able to read it. So let's continue making some changes. I actually think that what I rather do is to have the properties from the apply promo code page directly on this view. So instead of using a section, I'm going to use the properties. So let's see how that will look. Okay, so I think that's it for this section. The next thing that I want to do is to be able to update this information based on the promo code applied. So what we want to do is to be able to make the connection between this promo code page and the promo code records that we have in our table. So what I'm going to do here is to configure my page property to source data from the data page. So I'm going to open this promo code page, and I'm going to change the data access to copy data from a data page. In this case, it's going to be the promo code page. And for the PYUID, it's going to be, so actually, we are going to need to create a new data page for this. So let's actually go to the data types. I'm going to click here to create a new data page. I'm going to name this data page promo by code. So this data page should take as a parameter the promo code. So let's write this code. It's going to be a string, that's fine. Now the source, well, it is going to need a report definition because we need to explore all the records and match one record at least from based on the results if we find any, that is. So report definition, I'm also going to name it promo by code. So the first thing that I want to do in this new rule is to pass the parameter from the data page. So let's add that new parameter in the parameters tab. So I'm going to name it the same code. It's going to be of type text. Now, what do I want to retrieve from the table? I want to retrieve the UID. I want to retrieve the code, and I want to retrieve the discount. And I want to filter only those properties that match the same code that I'm passing in the parameters. And let's click on this gear icon to configure this to return nothing if the parameter is empty. Let's click on save. Let's come back over here. And as you can see now, with a data page that is of type page, well, the structure, that means that we only have one record. That means that this data page only represents a single record. But as you can imagine, a report definition can return multiple records. So that's why over here in response data transform, it is mandatory to to use a response data transform because whatever list of records that you retrieve from this report definition, you will need to select only one that will be stored or saved into this data page. So what I want to do is to create a generic data transform that I'm going to name it as keep first result. So as you can see, this new data transform comes pre-configured. And this is really useful because you can see uh, well, how Pega thinks that you are going to manage this. So what Pega thinks is that you are going to go through all of the results from the from the report definition. You are going to apply one condition, and then you are going to update your primary page with the results from that result that you match that condition with. So what I'm going to do is going to, instead of using what Pega has provided over here, I'm going to create my own steps. So the first thing that I want to check is if the report definition is greater than 0. We can check px result count, I think it was. So when it is greater than 0, what I want to do is to get the first result, and that's it. So here I'm going to say primary, is going to be equal to the data source px results, the first result. So I think that's it for this data page. So now let's just save all of these changes. Click on save, and let's see if this works. So let's start with A. Let's click on run. It's not working. Oh yeah, it is not working because we need to pass the parameters over here. Now let's try this one more time. Okay, there it is. We have the code, the discount, and the BYUID. Let's try something that doesn't exist. And that's right, we don't have anything back. So now let's save this. And I would like to actually, right now that we are working in this part, I would like to talk about reusability of certain rules. So as you can see, this is a very generic rule to keep only the first record. And in the future, we might want to use these rules in other data pages from different classes. So what I will do is to actually move this to the base class. And there is, instead of using this class, there is this little trick in Pega that you can say to any to use any class. So Pega will dynamically adapt based on where it is being called from. So if you change this, go to save as and save it on the base class or any layer before this one, for example, data or booking or HBA, or if you want to go all the way back to base class, you can do it. So here I'm going to click on create and open. And now I will have access to this data transform from any place in other rules, in other classes, I mean. So I'm going to delete this one. And now if you can see over here, if I search for this rule, you will find it on the base class. And my data page should still be working just fine. See? Okay. So that's it for this data page. Now let's go back to our property or page property and use this data page. So here is asking us for the code. The code is going to be inside my promo code page on the code property. So now let's save this. And now what we want to do is on the section to update the whole section when this value changes. So over here on actions, I'm going to choose standard. And I'm going to say that when the code changes, I want to refresh this section. So let's click save. Let's come back over here. I think everything looks fine. So I think that's it for this section. The only thing that we have missing are the declare expressions to update all of these fields, especially subtotal, discount, and total. So let's get started uh, with total. No, let's get started with subtotal. I think it's the easiest one to do because we are just going to copy whatever we have here in total to subtotal. So let's go to the App Explorer and let's find our declare expressions. So let's start with subtotal. I'm also going to open total to see what we have there. Okay, so it is this. I'm going to copy it over here. So that's it for subtotal. I'm going to close it. The next thing that I want to do is actually I want to go to discount. So let's open the discount declare expression. And here I want to check a few thing. So I want to add a condition. I only want to update discount when we have information in the promo code page so that we can apply a discount. And I also want to check if I do have anything to calculate based on subtotal. So I'm going to change this function that we're using here to check if we have a value in subtotal. So let me find it. Okay, it's this one. Property has a value. So let's check if subtotal has a value and also promo code discount has a value. If they have a value, then I want my discount to be equal to subtotal times the promo code discount times -1. Otherwise, I want the discount to be equal to 0. Now let's go to total. And I want to add some conditions over here. So I want to check similarly if subtotal has a value. And I also want to check if we have a discount. If that's true, then I want my total to be equal to the subtotal plus my subtotal times the discount times -1. Now, I also want to check if I only have a subtotal. So this is going to be another condition, but I don't have a promo code. So in that case, I want my total to be the same as subtotal. And if I don't have either subtotal or discount, I want my total to be equal to 0. So I do think that this is everything. Let's test this. Yeah, it is working. So that's it for this video. I'm gonna cut it here, and in the next one, I am going to continue working on this same section, and I'm just going to make some UI changes so that it looks better. See you in the next one. Thanks.